I would hit rock bottom and be like, please, like, post something. Tell everyone you just like said a stupid thing. He literally said, you should, one, know what kind of person I am. I say things online for a reaction. If you don't like that, get out of my house and we will not be together.
It's Sophia Franklin. You are listening to Sophia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sophia with an F. I am recording from WTF Media Studios, the chicest, sexiest, best studio to record from in all the land. By the way, I shouldn't be saying the F word within 2 seconds because I keep getting in trouble on YouTube, which if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, you're missing out. Tits out. I only have hot people on the show. Georgia, the people have spoken and we are answering. I'm here with Georgia Hassarati. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
I really need to get in the habit of not asking while I'm recording. Like, is that how you say your last name?
No, my last name's hard. Like, it's Lebanese. Like, it's difficult. It's a unique name, so I get it.
I mean, it's sexy.
Thank you.
I can tell you that. Georgia, how many people were reaching out to you saying, go on Sophia with an F and speak your truth?
I've never had anyone like request it as much as that. Like,
Same.
majority of my comments on my last TikToks were all your name tagged, everyone just being like begging me to go on this podcast. And I honestly didn't want to go on a podcast. And then I was like, you know what? I think I should speak these things out. And everyone wants me to do this podcast. I'll give the people what they want, do it once on this podcast. Because it was so many times, like my message requests are all your name.
No,
all the comments,
same.
like, are all your name. Like, it's crazy.
Same.
So
I was like, okay, like, let's make it happen. We started texting and it was like, okay, you're flying here like within 24 hours.
Yes.
You got here last night, right?
Yeah, I flew in last night. Like, thank you, by the way, for doing this because like to actually speak my side, because I feel like it's not always easy to when you've been with someone that is so well connected and has all those connections for podcasts to speak their side, and you're kind of like new to this environment and like the underdog and you don't really know where to go or who to like speak to. And I know I can like trust you. I just feel like you are a girl's girl, which is what people have been saying. And that was like the consensus I got. I was like, if I'm going to speak with anyone, I want it to be with someone who is a girl's girl, has my back in the way of like, they want to get the truth out and let me air my side. And I feel like you've done that. So
thank you so much. And I'm really happy and excited for you to like, you know, speak your truth and what you've been going through, because I've gone through something very similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the second people were writing Georgia and I looked into it, I was like, I have to do this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I felt. And I was like, I always said I don't want to speak on things because like, I'm not like the dramatic style. I can go away from things and just be like, that was a great lesson. Like, I've seen what I need to see and I'm moving on and karma will sort this out. I don't need to do anything. But like, it comes to a point where if this is a pattern and it's like something that keeps happening with the same person, I want to help and give the people of the future that may experience these things with this person like a little heads up. And also just, I want to clear my name. I'm like, why should I not? Because everyone is forming an opinion of things and I haven't said my piece, and like I should be able to speak my side. It also in these days looks guilty if you don't. Like if you go away and you're like, I'm the bigger person, people are like, she's quiet, she's guilty. And it's like, well,
I know.
I'm just trying to be the bigger person, but if you want me to go on that level, I'll go. Like
100%. I mean, you honestly were left no choice. Like, even if you didn't want to engage and didn't want to, you know, add fuel to the fire, which it's already a huge fire without you even saying anything. You needed to speak your side.
Yeah. And like I wanted to do it on my own terms and then be done with it, but there's so much more to the story, and there's like, it's not even like the accountability hasn't been taken by this person yet anyway. So it's like there's still confusion in people's eyes. Like with he recently put up like a TikTok saying that he doesn't want to pour,
And we're talking about your ex.
Add more fuel to the fire. It's like he's
you started the
exhausted.
fire.
Yeah, he's exhausted all the opportunities to add fuel to the fire. He's been doing that for a while, and I've sat back and said, like, let God take the wheel. I'm like out on this one. But he added fuel to the fire. He's come for my character. He's done things that prove he does not wish me well, like he said in that little thing he put up with the comments off because he's so scared about what people are going to say because they see the real side now. It's like, you've done your bit. Now I can do mine, and you can sit back and listen to it just like I have listened to you on multiple podcasts, change the story and come for my family and my character and everything else you've done. So
1,000,000%. And when we first exchanged numbers, like the first thing you said to me was, I'm not even trying to engage and be messy, but like I have so many people believing a narrative. I just want to, tell my side because like I owe it to myself, I owe it to my family, and I owe it, to the people that are like involved in reading and watching.
Yeah, and like my family were devastated by the things that were said on the recent podcast he went on. Like, they were so kind to him, and it's like, I cannot believe you came for my family. Like, come for me. I get you're upset. We had a relationship. You're not getting the reaction you want from me anymore. Come for me, but don't come for my family that treated you like
that's such
their
a low
own.
blow.
Like, they brought you into their house. They were lovely to you. Like, that's just wrong. Like, I don't stand for that, and I think it's super nasty. At the end of the day, if he's going to apologize to anyone, I don't even care if it's me. My family deserve it.
So what were your initial thoughts on that?
I feel like it was a very like predictable move on his end because I feel like they have a prior friendship. I know he's actually been on that podcast.
Has he talked shit about me before?
Probably. I wouldn't be offended if he did. He does it about everyone. But I feel like he's been on the exact same podcast about a previous ex, Francesca, before. And I just think the fact that they have a friendship opened that door for him to do it. And look, I don't even think it's weird on her end for having him on there because he is like very good at portraying one side of himself to his friends and one side of himself to like romantic relationships. So she probably doesn't even see the sides of him that I'm speaking on.
Right.
But like something I found really alarming in that actual podcast was when he's opening with being a victim, like saying that he's been cheated on, and then he goes into saying he wants to find marriage, which is one of the most alarming things to me.
That?
Yeah, he wants to be on The Bachelor and he wants to get married, which is like so funny to me because me and Francesca have both been in the same situation where he's like asked us both, talked about engagement and this and that, but simultaneously was like messing around with other women. So it's like, you're not serious about that.
Well, also who's like, you know what? I really want to settle down and get married. I think I have to get on The Bachelor.
Yeah. Like I think that's just a really good like opportunity for him to have women like give him a lot of attention and give him another platform where he can be center of attention.
If you were to get on The Bachelor.
Literally. And I think that's what he's aiming for by constantly saying in interviews now he wants to get married, he wants to settle down. He does not want that. He's proved that many times. But like another weird part of that podcast is like at the end he's then saying openly and like kind of like he's saying it in a way like he's kind of proud of himself that he is knowingly sleeping with a girl who's in a relationship, and whenever she has issues with her boyfriend, she calls him and they like sleep together. I find that strange because like
he was just dragging you through the mud for cheating, and he's like, this girl that I am is in a relationship.
Yeah. And
like
he's like so open about it. And it's even weirder that like the podcast host is like recently engaged. I just find like that's something she wouldn't even align with or think was okay in any way. And it's like you come on that podcast as a victim of cheating, but then you're literally finishing it up with saying you're openly messing with a woman who's in a relationship and you're proud about it. Like it's so confusing to me. And then the follow-up TikToks of them both, it's like he even further validates that he doesn't care when people are taken because he made TikToks with her. And it's like how I viewed you when you were single. And she's like using an ugly filter. And then it flashes to how I view you now that you're engaged, and it's like she's like glowing and like attractive, and it's like, okay, so you're literally saying you prefer women who are taken,
like fantasizing about,
Yeah.
oh, the second a girl is taken, has a ring on it, like
then I want to
my
mess with
dick's
it.
hard.
And it's like, that's a known thing anyway. Like even from all the DMs I'm receiving are mainly centered around people who have experienced this firsthand with him in New Zealand where he grew up. They're all saying he's notorious for, when he was young, growing up in this area, always going after women who are taken, trying to get validation from taken women. And that's like a known thing. So it's like, he hasn't changed at all. And you're sitting on that podcast wanting to be a victim. It's just weird to me. It's like the whole podcast was contradicting itself. It's a very strange take. And I don't think that platform should have given him the opportunity to speak that way. And I was raised this way, and my family's always been this way, to feel sadness and pity for people that act this way. Like hurt people hurt people. My mom's always told me that. I've always seen this as sad. This is probably why I kept going in this relationship for longer than any normal person would, because I saw sadness in this human. I didn't think he's nasty, he's this. He's doing this because I made excuses. I was like, okay, but he comes from this. He's like, he's trying to prove himself. He wants attention. He needs this. I always made excuses, and at the end of the day, I shouldn't have, because I somewhat, to some degree, enabled him to go on with this for as long as he could. And now I'm saying my piece on it, and I should, but it's also like, I wish I didn't put up with it as long as I should have. And if anyone is in that situation of like feeling like people are crossing their boundaries or speaking badly about them or lying about them from the start of the relationship, by the way, he lied about me. On the very first podcast he did after we met, he sat there saying we slept together the day we met. That caused an immense amount of pain for me that I still deal with to this day. And It was not true. Like, it's like, and I let him like do that. I tried to get him to take accountability. He didn't want to. And at the time, having the whole world be against me over something. It was a huge TV show. I'd won the show with this guy. People wanted to believe I did him dirty. I didn't.
Right.
It was not that way. And like, I had to suffer through that. And while I was dating the person that caused me all that pain and not let him he just didn't take accountability. And I was like, what am I going to do? Leave my boyfriend right now?
Yeah.
Everyone else is against me and he's like my safety net.
It put you in an impossible situation, kind of like the situation you're in now. But I think, to speak to what you were saying, why was I with that person for so long? Why did I not like see these red flags? The thing is, and I've gone through this myself, obviously, when you don't think that way, when you're not that calculated, you don't know what to look for, because your brain doesn't work that way. It doesn't
work that way. And I would never have expected, like, now I see things for the way they are, right? I would never think someone could be as calculated as he was to, after we meet the first day, and I've told him I've won this TV show, I'm here seeing the guy I won with. He knows backstory on me from my season of Too Hot to Handle.
Well, let's back up. For people who don't really know what's going on and all the drama. So you went on a reality show.
Yes. So on the show, me and the guy that I won the show with, we got along great. I thought he was super lovely. It looks as though we left the show dating, which is super annoying, and it's something that he continues to run with, knowing that it's not true. Everyone in that house knows we did not leave that show dating. It was a pressurized situation with 15 production cameras where he asked me to be his girlfriend after 5 days of knowing him. And because I liked the guy at this point, the options were to, one, embarrass him on global TV and say, no, I don't want to, or say yes and then try and understand why he put me in that situation and maybe like take a step back from it. And that's what I did. I said yes, and I put him before me. The next day, we've like had a really good conversation, and we sat and spoke about how I've only known him for 5 days. It's very soon to be taking that step. I'm not a fast-paced person, and he was just in love with someone else a few days prior. Let's take this slow.
He was in love with someone before he asked you to be
Francesca.
his girlfriend. Okay.
So like two people in the same 2-week filming TV show, and no one thinks that's like strange or anything. They're just like, you cheated. And it's
They're like, this is
we
real
weren't
life.
dating. We broke it off like literally the moment it happened. And he was great about that. He was like on board for that. He even said like the production felt he needed to prove his feelings for me because he was just recently in a strong feeling situation with Francesca. And they made him feel as though he needs to prove himself to me and prove to me that he actually cares. And he goes, now I see like you're a slow-paced person. Let's take it slow. Like I respect that. Like we won the show. I go back to the UK. I'm with my friends for a week. Then we've decided we want to meet up in LA. I'm like, I want to see where this could go. We spent a few days together. It really was not what I expected. And from the bottom of my heart, like I genuinely wished like it went better. It didn't go the way we expected. This was the first time we'd been alone, one-on-one.
Not in front of cameras.
Not in front of 40 production crew, multiple people on the show, you know, constantly monitoring our every move. This was the one time we're alone and it was not the same. He'd mentioned like, okay, when are we going to take that next step? And I was like, we've just started hanging out. Like we've literally just left that environment. We've only been around each other for a few days. So there was a lot of pressure.
Why are we talking about next step?
Like,
this is the next step right now.
First day I've spent with you out of that environment. Like I kind of want to see where it goes. Like let's just slow down. And it wasn't going well. Had a great podcast. As you can see, we're both Australian, had a lot in common, but we did not sleep together that day. He knew what kind of show I just went on, that I won it, and that his ex was on it, and that I was the girl from my season that no one could really like get close to. Don't you think for 2 seconds it made the guy look good to say, yeah, I slept with her the day I met her? Why does no one see that?
It's like a publicity thing.
I think he did because he knew what the show was going to come out. He knew people would know I won, and to insert himself in something that had nothing to do with him and gain a mass amount of attention from it when he wasn't even on the show is very true to his character, and he did that. He pulled it off. And when it came to that point of people being like, you're a cheater, I'm his girlfriend, and he would not defend me.
Let's dissect the situation a little bit. So basically your ex, and this is not the guy you're on the show with, this is someone else, your ex.
Yeah.
He went on a podcast and claimed that you guys had slept with each other that day.
Yes.
This is a year before the show releases.
Yes.
So, and the episode drops, right?
The episode drops. I didn't see it until like he did. I didn't see the first one he did where he just references sleeping with an Australian girl. So I genuinely, when I saw that, I was like, that could be about anyone. Like he definitely probably didn't mean me. But then the next one he did, we were about 7 months into dating.
Got it.
And he's sitting, it's like, it's with Hannah Berner. She's literally asking how soon it is appropriate to sleep with someone. And then he's like, oh, like straight away, like the day I met my girlfriend, we slept together that day on the podcast. And it's like, it was in a situation where they were talking about sleeping with people quickly. So he just went along with that narrative and he's just like said that day. And I actually, I go back and forth between the idea in my head of if he calculated that or if it was just a slip of the tongue because it's his character to make things more dramatic than they are.
Yep.
Either way, it was so wrong to put me in that situation because when the show came out and people believed that to be true and the guy I won the show with was using it against me to like victimize himself and make out he believed what was happening when I don't think he ever did. I was at the hotel with him that night. And
so that's the whole thing is the guy that you won the show with.
Yeah.
Then you guys didn't work out. And he decides to post your ex on a podcast saying that you guys had just slept with each other to make it look as if you were a cheater.
Yeah, and it was favorable to the narrative. Like I was at this point dating this person. So people are going to see that and be like, why would he, now that they're dating, lie about that? And like when I would like, because it was so intense that time of my life, like I've never been lower. I've never spoken about this properly, but like I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't sleep. I was having panic attacks. I would wake up in the morning and run to the bathroom and projectile vomit because the immense anxiety I would feel when I woke up would overcome. I would remember what's happening and that I was being hated so globally for something I hadn't done. And my biggest thing is like, I hate being misunderstood. I can take accountability. I can sit here and say, me and my ex did form a relationship pretty soon after ending things with the person I won that show with, but there was no overlap. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, I did something that I didn't do. So like seeing me go through this pain and my ex just like not defending me and me being like, I would hit rock bottom and be like, please, like, post something. Tell everyone you just like said a stupid thing. They will have like, you know, they will understand.
And
but they're not going to
understand.
He literally said one time when I like begged him, I remember exactly where we're standing. He's in the bathroom doorway. I said, please just post something, a story, and just say what you said was not that serious and it's literally not true. He said, you should, one, know what kind of person I am. I say things online for a reaction. If you don't like that, get out of my house and we will not be together. That's literally what he said. So he threatened to
so the
leave
response
me.
was, you're homeless.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yes.
Get a fucking life.
So I'm away from my family. I'm in LA. I'm living at this person's house. I'm already getting a magnitude of hate online. I don't talk to my friends about it much because one, I don't know who to trust or talk to about these things because they could say other things to other people. And I'm like so isolated. And the one person that I like clung to is like the source of all this pain. And when I ask them to defend me, they literally say, if you bring this up again, get out of my house and we're not together. So I literally had no option but to just cop it on the chin and move forward with something that I didn't do. And to this day, people still victimize their character off this. Like they're still playing victim towards something that never happened.
That's
and I have to
true.
sit back and still watch it happen and be like, if people only fucking knew. My biggest regret that day is not strapping a GoPro to my body just so everyone knew exactly the movements I made that day. So people had the proof that I did not do this and they can just move the F on. Like,
you know what? Now this is the GoPro. Like right now, this is you speaking to what actually happened. And if people want to believe you, great. If they don't want to believe you, great. Like it's all you can do. You know what I mean? But I have such a soft spot because there is nothing more terrifying, anxiety-inducing, and sad than waking up every day, not knowing what horrible lie is going to be said about you, and having the entire world hate you.
Yes, and having people enjoy it and capitalize off it.
Love it.
And it's like, you don't understand as well when things like this happen, even your closest friends who know the truth, even the people that were involved in the experience, they don't want to get involved because there's a winning team right now and a losing team. And if they associate with the losing team, they're going to insert themselves in the hate. So they step back or worse, they take the winning team to get a little bit of clout, hang out with them, post photos everywhere with them, and indirectly give the public a message
more
of,
fuel.
well, this must have happened because why would this person that was so close to Georgia on the show now be hanging out with this person that's claiming to be a victim if it wasn't true? So people then like feed off that narrative and they're like, okay, well, it must be true.
Yeah,
it's like,
because then they're like,
people are just
this-
shit. Like, actually, people just want attention. I don't know what to tell you, but like,
well, yeah, they do. I mean, I had merchandise made, like saying team and the opposing team, like with their name on it.
Oh, well, my situation's making merchandise as well off the victim status.
Okay, well, we're fucking boicotting that, and it's probably shitty material.
It is.
But let's...
It is. Nah, I don't know.
I know, I'm just like, it's shitty material. It's an ugly design. I've never seen it. Let's fast forward to a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You were being very classy about the whole thing until you were left no choice. Yeah. But all of that shit went down. He goes on a podcast, lies about you, and you ask him something so easy. That's like what really, there's a couple of things that scare me about this person. One of them is how easy to just a tweet,
Oh, I know.
a story. Hey, I may have gotten the dates wrong because now I'm fucking her, but this was released a year ago.
Yeah.
I was talking out of my ass. Like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have caused any harm to him and relieved you of so much pain.
Yes. And actually it would have caused him a lot of praise because these days, like taking accountability for something stupid you did, people appreciate that, especially from a man. Like they would have literally been like, okay, like
they would have loved him more.
And we were 7 months into dating when he gave the actual, you know, like speech on it was the podcast day. So for like, it was so far in, we'd been sleeping together for however long, like people actually would have been like, okay, like he didn't think people would care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was just, he's just set a time.
Right.
But like he had every reason to get away with that and like take that title of me being a cheater away.
So easy.
But he didn't want to. He just didn't want to. He liked the drama and he also liked just looking like he wasn't the bad one, I think. Because people always compared us and be like, why would someone like this be with someone like this? You know what I mean? And it kind of gave him a grace period of going, well, she's not that perfect.
Now
you know
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's a cheater. Like,
yeah.
Which, by the way, I will continue to get shit for this. Let's say you did cheat, which I know you for a fact didn't, but like, let's say you did. Oh, let's fucking crucify her, martyr her, hate her. Like, like, okay, everyone fucking listening, you've never like done anything, which again, I know you didn't, but it's like, is that crazy? Like, you didn't kill someone.
You know what? Even if I did, let's just say hypothetically I did, which I didn't. Let's say I did. 1, we were not in a relationship, me and the guy from the show. 2, I had spent 10 days filming with him in total. Who do you even owe that much respect for? Like 10 days,
0.
like there are people I know that see 15 people at once and like 10 days is not a concern to them. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone is all for sleep with this one while you sleep with that one until it comes to me.
I know.
And then they're like, how dare she after 10 days? It's like,
right.
You guys don't understand. We spent 10 days together in filming. It was over the course of 2 weeks, but 4 of those days were weekends, which we do not film on, and we're isolated in a hotel on our own for. So I had 10 days with this guy with all these other people, and I owe him all the stuff in your eyes apparently. We didn't leave the show in a relationship, and I'm going to be like, crucified for that. 1 year and 7 months later, he still brings me up on every single podcast. He still finds a way to flip the story that's going into my ex did this. We were not together. You don't get the privilege of calling me your ex. We were together for 5 minutes on a reality dating TV show. You are not my ex. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
That's really disturbing to me. And another thing is people miss the fact that he is like literally still harping on about this. Why are you not seeing that for how weird it is? He follows my sister in Australia. He watches every one of her stories. He brings me up on every single podcast episode. And if he tries to deny that watching her stories thing, she's sent me proof. Like, don't deny it.
He has your name on Google search.
Literally, it's every like, my ex is Australian. My ex, you're not my ex. You're not. We filmed a show together. It didn't go well after. Move on. It's been a year and 7 months. Like that is like an unhealthy amount to obsess over something that was that minimal. Get over it.
That's crazy.
It is so annoying. And it's like now you want to sit with my real ex that I dated for a whole year and both sit there and compare stories and both claim I cheated on you both now when I never cheated on either of you. It's like, get a job. Like move on.
Also, do we think maybe, I don't know, they cheat or cheated on you or have cheated? I know it's crazy to think about, but I have a pretty good inkling that I'm sure that's gone down.
Well, I have proof that I've recently been cheated on in the last relationship.
So
many people came forward after I posted the videos I did, which I wasn't going to do. And I did because I had to get my side out. And I'm glad I did because the amount of stories that have come forward validating what I already knew and other things I already experienced in this relationship just proved to me how shitty of a person this person is, one, and how they will go to great lengths to not only cover what they did, but flip the narrative and make me seem like the bad person like they have from the moment I met them. It's like the amount of people that have said they've slept with this person is outrageous.
So
I'm
it's
like,
more than
how?
one.
Yeah. And then projecting your like distrust on me, making me have to show you location and text updates. And when I go to Coachella with a group of girls, you want so much from me because you're so guilty. And now, you know, you could have got away with it all and just gone peacefully. But now you go on every podcast to try and flip the narrative and make me the bad person when you know it's you. He's so in denial. It's like, it's crazy.
That's like scary shit when someone believes the lies they're telling.
He believes it 100%.
Let's talk about Coachella for a second. So you went on TikTok, you know, and this is after he went on a very public podcast and very publicly said a million things about you.
Yeah.
Then you got on TikTok and you poked a bunch of holes in the story.
Yeah.
And we were just hanging out in my apartment before this recording, and you were telling me what went down. Basically, he asked you to kind of film yourself because he was like worried about whatever.
Yes. So if I would ever do anything like Coachella,
like
he was fine, literally. So when I told him I was going to Coachella for work, he was fine about it. When it came to the day before, he threw this like weird fit about it, made out he was so uncomfortable, he doesn't trust me, blah, blah, blah. So I went there and I worked overtime to prove to him that nothing shady was going on. Even though I was sleeping in a bed with a girl, I was in a house full of girls, I was there for work. Most of the girls I was with were in relationships. They don't want to be around men. They're there for work. Like, we were not around men. So I would send photos like every night, the first night, which is funny because he mentions me crossing his boundaries in the breakup letter that he left on his bed when I got back from Coachella.
We definitely need to uncover that one.
The boundaries that I crossed, firstly, were the first night that I was at Coachella, I sent him a photo to check in when I was in bed. Hey, I'm home in my pajamas with a bowl of pasta on my lap. I literally have the photo. Like, I can show you. Like, I'm in bed, like pajamas, bowl of pasta. The next day he calls me and he was not happy with that. He said, you didn't film the room. So how do I know there was not a guy in there? I literally laughed and said, I had a bowl of pasta the size of my head on my lap. I'm in my pajamas. Do you think if I met someone that I was trying to fuck that night, I would be eating pasta in my pajamas? I think I would be looking a little cuter than that. Like, I don't
like, if I'm fucking someone, I'm not like, let me get a huge
pasta
sauce
first.
or bolognese, have my hair slicked back, be laying in the bed with it. Like,
who even wants to have sex after they indulge in a bowl of pasta that big? Like, not me. Like, my God. I was like, I can't believe. And I was like, okay, so that's like not good enough for you. So the next day I worked overtime. Like,
you're like
every
taking
single
a picture
set
of
I
the
was
crevice,
literally
of the corner.
Every time I saw one of his guy friends that he knew that we were mutual friends with, I would be like, hey, look who I've seen, so that they could vouch for me not being around men. I was showing him videos of every set. I called him, FaceTimed him. I literally worked. I don't even know. My friend said, how the fuck are you getting Wi-Fi right now? And I'm like, I've pulled strings. Like, I'm connected into like the VIP like hotspot, whatever. I'm connecting to all the cafe Wi-Fi. Like, I'm literally working overtime. And my friend goes, you're like killing my vibe.
They're like fishers on. Why do you have your fucking phone up in the air trying to catch a signal?
She was like, I'm not trying to be a bitch. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but you're like on your phone constantly. She's also in a relationship, by the way. Her name's Kayla. She was like, the second I walk into this festival, I don't speak to my boyfriend all day. He trusts me. I get home and I update him, and then I speak about it the next day. But while I'm here, I'm having fun, and you need to do the same.
Enjoying the moment.
And I'd like, even though I worked overtime, he still managed to pin on me that I was shady and cheating.
He's
and
like,
it's
your
for what?
ticket was scanned by a guy, and everyone saw it. You're like, okay.
Like, oh, cuff me.
Arrest
like,
me.
Shit. But like, he blew up at me the next day. It was like screaming, projecting, calling me a narcissist, saying all these crazy things because I was like confused why he was mad. He said, I'm a cheater, I'm this and that, which he owns in the letter. He actually took accountability for the way he spoke to me in the letter that he left on his bed, like, which I admire because it's difficult for him to take accountability for things. But he actually said he was sorry for the way he spoke to me, which my friends heard.
Right. So basically, this Coachella thing, he breaks up with you.
Yeah.
Because for whatever fucking reason, he's like, you're up to no good.
Yeah.
And then he writes a letter to you. Can we discuss the letter?
Yes. So when he broke up with me that day, he said, I have a gut feeling you've cheated on me. It was a gut feeling.
Let's break up. I have a gut feeling every day about everything.
Yeah, because
it's called anxiety.
The thing is, like, he used that against me because I actually would have gut feelings and they would turn out to be right. So he knew if he could say that, I can't fight him on a gut feeling because mine are always right. You know what I mean?
Intuition.
So he said he had a gut feeling I've cheated. He's going to throw all my stuff out of the apartment. I have all this on text. Then we didn't speak for like the last day of the festival and I was devastated, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to make this fun for myself. I'm going to go have a nice time, saw a bit of Frank Ocean, went home, whatever. Then I've come back and didn't hear from him still. And I was like, he's going to come around for whatever reason, like he was acting out. He's going to feel bad. He didn't. A few days passed. So I messaged him. I stayed at Kayla's house when he's done all this. And I messaged him and said, hey, can I come and get my stuff? Because he was throwing it out. So I was like, can I come and get my stuff? And he's like, yeah, I won't be home from this time frame. Come and get it then. So he didn't even want to see me in person. I show up, get upstairs. His roommate's there. We're talking. The roommate's completely normal, being lovely to me because he obviously knows I'm not doing what I'm being accused of and he feels bad. I go into the bedroom. There's a letter left on the bed and I can read it out for you. It's like the most wild letter because it's like it basically proves that he's not accusing me of cheating. Like this is literally something he's just making
And have
up.
you ever posted this before?
No, because I was like, this is so embarrassing. Who gets broken up with over a letter after a year? Like, oh my God, like break up with me in a better way than that. That's crazy.
I can't remember the last time I like took a pencil to paper to like write someone something.
But it says, Georgia, I would like to apologize for my words the other night. I'm deeply sorry for saying that. There is no warrant for those words to come out of my mouth.
What did he like?
He was like calling me a narcissist and a cheater and all this stuff. So he's saying, I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
I hope you had an amazing weekend. Well, you made sure I fucking didn't.
See,
so.
that is toxic.
That is like
behavior 101.
It's like,
I just need to make sure you have the worst time ever, so I'm going to break up with you.
And then I'm going to say, I hope you had a great time.
Oh, yeah. I have the best.
Yeah. I was feeling great when you broke up with me and called me a narcissist and a cheater.
Yeah, between connecting to the fucking asking for a hotspot while Fisher's playing to having you call me a narcissist when I'm literally sending you pictures. It was incredible.
It was so great. Thank you.
Mems.
There is a lot to say, but I don't want to fight anymore, so I will just leave it at this. I love you deeply and I believe you are my soulmate, but I give up. I cannot do this anymore, and no one should have to beg for respect from their partner. I had simple boundaries and things I needed from you, and you stepped over them. The bowl of pasta wasn't enough. That was stepping. Anyways, as you wish, I will not speak to you unless you would like to speak to me. Like,
shut up.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
He did not.
Unless you want to talk to me.
I'm done.
I'm good.
We're never talking unless you're interested, but absolutely not.
I don't want to speak, but if you want to, then I'll think about it. If you would like me to pay for a hotel or an Airbnb while you look for a spot, I'm happy to do so. I love you. Wish you nothing but peace and happiness in your life. And if you need help with anything, please call. Be safe. So hold on. You wish me peace and happiness.
I love when people throw the I'll pay for the Airbnb as if you don't have money, as if that is like the nicest
literally it's
stand-up thing.
The thing he constantly runs with is like, I let her live at my place. He begged me to live there. Like I have money, I can pay. I have friends in LA that are happy for me to live with them. I've lived with friends. The majority of our relationship, what no one sees is I was actually at multiple friends of mine because I didn't want to live with him because it was too much too soon.
And he was just persistent.
There was amounts of time that I was there, and in the last few months, I was at my ex's house and he begged me to be there. He got rid of all his stuff. He cleared out racks so that I could move in. He wanted me there. I said, I don't think it's a good idea. He begged for me to be there. And then he now uses that against me as well as like, I let her live here. Like, how dare she? And it's like, you begged me. And I said, I don't think it's a good idea.
I think that has a lot to do with wanting to be in control and what little things can he set up so that he has some kind of control, you know?
Exactly. And then he can control the narrative like he did.
Right.
Like when I moved in last time, 2 days later was on a red carpet and this interview's online. And he's like, my ex just moved back in with me. She's sleeping on my couch. I'm like, my ex, like you've just begged me to come back into your life. You've been putting me in an album with engagement rings because you want to propose to me, asking me for my ring size daily. And I'm like, crashing at yours and we're fighting all the time and you can't believe that I've just like moved in. It's
That's
like,
just like a
what
low
are you
blow.
talking about?
That's
like,
also just a low blow. Staying on my couch. Like
yeah,
as if like
I've never slept on the guy's couch
you're
once.
a burden.
I was
like,
in his bed every night. Like,
right.
what are you talking about? But even like, it's funny because like exactly this experience that I've experienced was what Francesca experienced.
So let's talk about that because we have not as much time because I could talk about this for the rest of my life. But I feel like there's a few like major things. One thing that really irked me and stood out to me was, and this same thing happened with Francesca.
Yeah.
He publicly bashes, I'm pretty sure he allegedly called Francesca an escort on a podcast and then followed up with his legal team, had his legal team reach out to her, which is just a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Because you can talk freely about someone. You can't like seek legal action unless it's completely disparaging someone's character. And even then you can't, which the craziest thing is he has like this pattern where he publicly, unprovoked, will bash and drag someone's name through the mud, yours, and then turns around and will have his legal team try to scare them into being silent.
Yes.
Which is what, I mean, that happened to Francesca. Has it happened to you?
Yes. So he's doing the exact same thing that he did to her, to me. He went on the exact same podcast as he did with her, calling her an escort, as the one he's recently gone on and spoke a bit badly about me, saying I was bouncing on someone else. Oh, but
bouncing on someone's dick.
Bouncing on someone else. Then he bashed my family. Then he did all this and all of that. Anyway, the same podcast he did to both of us. And then the same thing with the legal. It's coming at me now from that angle. And it's like, you had your chance to run me down on multiple podcasts, speak your side, and now you're going to try and stop me from speaking mine. And don't pour gasoline on the fire and then say, I don't want to add to the flames. Like, you made it. You made the flame. You sparked the fire. Like, deal with that now. Don't like try and back out of it now and take the, scare tactics into stopping me from saying what I need to say. You did this. Own it.
It's bizarre.
And it's funny because I reached out to Francesca. So we were not getting along after like Perfect Match. We had that experience and it was what it was. Like, it's been a year and whatever, how long. I don't care. It's in the past. Also, those shows are like, it's not a natural environment. People just don't get along and there's a lot going on and there's people whispering in your ear and you don't know who to trust. Like, for whatever reasons, we didn't have the best relationship on that show, but I should have never let that experience cloud my judgment for her experience with this guy, because everything she said was true. I've experienced the exact same things, down to the engagement rings that he was trying to propose. He did the same to her. It all comes down to attention. He wants all this attention from someone, and then he wants to like discard them when he's done with them and run them down in the public eye. And it's like, we had the identical relationship, same relationship, different font, like literally the same, exactly the same. And since I reached out to her and I wanted to smooth things over and just like take accountability for not seeing her side with this person, like obviously my experience with her made me think that maybe his side was more valid than hers. I was so wrong about that. She has been lovely and so supportive, and like, we were pinned against each other from the start, and it's like sad to see because she's like, I'm super happy for her now, seeing how she's engaged and like she's doing so well, she's glowing. Like that gives me the like validation and like the proof that even though I'm going through the same thing as her, like I'll get to where she is and I'll be happy and this will be something of the past and like whatever. But like if anything, I'm grateful that I made the mistake of not trusting her story, her side with this person, because I can now advocate for her experience and be like, hey, I experienced the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And if people don't believe it, so be it. But like, I think this is a serious pattern with this person, and I don't think it's going to end here. And it may for a little while stop because he's probably aware of people catching on, but it will continue. These things don't die that easy. It's like, it's something that I don't think he can shake or he's not aware of either. So it's like, you know, if I can make it more aware and save someone this experience, then I'm going to do it. And if I'm going to validate her experience through this, then I'm going to do it because she's right. And I feel horrible that, you know, I didn't see that. And now I do. And you know what? I'm glad I reached out to her. She was lovely. We both apologized to each other. She said things about even the guy that I was on the show with that made me see that I'm not crazy about that. We both have the same opinions about the guy I won the show with and my ex-boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend. Like, and we both are like, we cannot believe that we're in the same situation with these two men and now they're trying to team up against me as well and like do podcasts together. It's like, give it a break, leave me alone, move on. I'm so over it. Honestly, it's like, it's crazy.
No, I think it's really brave, and I'm not trying to sound corny. It's courageous for you to publicly speak about this and, you know, go back at them because they have proven there's nothing off limits.
Yeah.
They will drag you. And I think I'm really happy that you and Francesca had that interaction.
Yes.
You know?
And like, it's crazy because I don't even need to try and like prove myself. The story with my ex it's been out there and it's been changed so many times. Like, he continued to lie about me. And now it's like, he posts a story saying he wishes me well, blah, blah, blah. He hopes I wish him well. You don't wish me well. You have lied about me. You've lied about my family. You've lied about my character. You have then slept with a close friend of mine to spite me. Recently, someone who has said on podcasts as well that they are a close friend of mine, recently slept with them to hurt me. You will do anything to hurt me and not wish me well. You do not wish me well. And I'm not going to say I sit here and wish you the best because I honestly feel like you've had it. You've had it with me. You've had it with Francesca. You've had it with multiple people and you've fumbled every time and you'll continue to do so. Honestly, I wish him therapy. I wish him healing. I wish him growth. And even saying all this with all the anger I have, don't get me wrong, I don't want anyone to bully him. I don't condone that for him or anyone else. I just want to clear my name.
Yep.
I want to see everyone to see this as a pattern and that people of the past were in the same situation and look at it overall because it's very similar. Like, I want people to see this for what it is and not be so quick to judge over people speaking out on social media, on every single podcast platform they can. Maybe the things you're hearing are not true. Maybe you should question them. Maybe you should seek evidence, and maybe you shouldn't be so quick to judge and throw hate at people. I've been on that side of it.
Yep.
It's horrible, and I don't wish it, not even for him or anyone else. I want people to help him change. I want him to take accountability, and I want him to grow for himself, not me, for anyone else, for himself.
I think that was so well said and extremely profound. And I think we should leave it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, you are incredible. Thank you so much for coming on. I can just tell you have a genuine, kind heart. And I think there's a reason if someone seeks legal action, maybe they feel a little bit guilty. That's just that's my 2 cents. After you just said something so gorgeous, I'm just going to throw something in. But thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, Georgia. And where can everyone find you?
I guess all my social media handles are the same. Georgia Hassarati. I'm on everything. Threads is my new thing. I love Threads. I speak my mind on there so much. So if you want to see what I'm thinking, go on Threads.
But I love that.
It's all Georgia Hassarati everywhere.
Okay.
So.
Thank you so much. And hopefully people will, see the truth.
I hope, even if they don't, they will one day.
One day. Karma.
Yeah.
Play Karma by Taylor Swift.
And Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo. It's literally my new anthem.
Okay, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye.